When Ice Spice popped off with her absolute banger, she's never really left the public eye. Many see this as accidental or a glitch in the simulation we call life that she hasn't fallen off yet. But I believe this to be very calculated, as if Ice Spice has plunged deep into the recesses of human understanding in order to discover the immeasurable potential of creating music so catchy. One question, if being a Munch is a new phrase or merely a concept that has been lurking beneath the fabric of society. Today we're going to learn why Ice Spice is a musical mastermind and why her success is less of an accident than it is careful planning and preparation. We're going to look at the strategies she's used to blow up, as well as some of the challenges that she's overcome on the journey, right here on the Science of Winning. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you The Munch Effect by Ice Spice. Let's get into it. Humble beginnings. This is Ice Spice's father, who at the time was also an underground rapper. You see, in Ice Spice's life, her perception of music was very close in hand with who she was as a person. With this hitting so close to home, it was only obvious what avenue she should go down. The next and arguably best decision Ice Spice made was when it came to her manager, Rosemond Jr. He essentially met Ice Spice. They had a mutual friend who was managing Diplo at the time. They came in, they made a record, and stayed in touch. But it wasn't until he reached out with a plan. You see, he wanted to find a new female artist. He already had a Rolodex of artists he worked with in the past, one of which being, get this, Trey Songz. I know, I forgot about him too, but he does have some absolute bangers, not gonna lie. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, the whole time I'm gonna have some Ice Spice just like blaring in my head, so forgive me if I'm starting to dance. But this is something unique about Ice Spice. Okay, these are all her videos on YouTube. That's it. That's it, guys. No, okay, so she does have Munch, and that's on a different channel. This is all she has. That's her total discography, which I think is interesting because obviously she's made more songs. I'm sure she has a bunch of unreleased songs, but this is all that she has up there. I find so many artists when they go through a rebranding or they're trying to find themselves, they usually private all their Instagram posts or private all their YouTube videos that didn't pop off before. Now, in this case with Ice Spice, I don't think she privated any of these things, but even with Ken Carson recently, he privated almost all his Instagram pictures in order to kind of go through this rebranding as he drops a new album. Something to think about. Especially in this industry, controlling your image is critical. So if there's something in the past that you don't necessarily love, I know Ice Spice had a bunch of TikTok videos and she didn't make a compilation or didn't want to share them on her YouTube channel. I find that interesting. That was her total song list. Let's get into the actual songs. And obviously, the first one, Munch.
You thought I was feeling you?
Here's what I want us to see is this graph. So this is 7 days after posting. And this is, by the way, this is the only one that's not on her YouTube channel because this one's on WorldStar. I mean, WorldStar posts now almost like at least every week. People get at least, I don't know, 30,000 views a video on there, ranging to 100. I just saw one with Quavo at 100K. But even in the WorldStar world, 7 days after posting, 500,000 views, that's a lot. Now look at this curve, because this is rare for these graphs, starting to bend up. And obviously we end up with 52 million views. It went crazy. This obviously was when Ice Spice was exposed to the world. Hate it or love it, you probably heard this song. And once the song went viral, so did the memes. I swear my sister used to have one of those. Growing up, that's funny. And with all that attention, that video got the attention of some bigger dogs, you know what I mean? This also helped. I mean, just the fact that Drake followed her on Instagram led to a lot of stir, a lot of talking. Are they dating? Is this like a weird like coaching situation? And then with all that buzz, I think Drake eventually unfollowed her. And then rumor has it he rapped about it in a video saying it was like her loss, but didn't directly say it was her. So all this murmuring just leads to more and more attention, which at this point in her career was critical. This kind of murmuring allowed her to kind of get something else out. And that's something being Bikini Bottom. The sample on this was crazy because obviously it was from SpongeBob, but essentially it just bought her more time to get her next hit, which went crazy. I mean, to get that many views, I know Munch got more. She honestly reminds me of Ray Shrimmer. They're really good at having those poppy bangers. And I mean, now they have more of a catalog, if you will. Especially earlier in their career, they really had consistent bangers. So this is kind of what I see for Ice Spice. She definitely has a good manager. And of course, there's more rumors. One in which is that this man wanted to date her for $500,000. Took her on a shopping spree. Luckily, that was false. Next slide. Hey guys, one thing I want to say, I really appreciate all of you. In fact, this is my new screensaver. As you can tell, there's a lot of people here. And there's actually 500 people because we recently just got to 500 subscribers. So what better way to represent you guys is this. Now, you guys aren't this old. There's also like way too many white people in this crowd, but I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting this and for us doing this. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited for how far we've already been. So here's to more. Subscribe and let's keep going. This was another huge moment in Ice Spice's career, if you can call it that. It's been so short, not super long. With Kai Cenat's motion at this point, we're actually going to do another video on Kai, which is I'm super excited about. This really changed how people saw her. I mean, if we look at some of the comments, now remember, people just knew her from a couple hit songs, probably didn't think she'd stay around too long. And this is where she really got to display her personality and kind of build that connection with the general public, which is really important. Can't lie, Ice Spice is probably the most chill out of all the female rappers. Her friend looked good too. Hey, finesse the prophet. You should change it to finesse the prophet, as in prophetic. I love how Ice Spice is still paying attention to her friend when she says something. So just the fact that they were both on there, had some good energy, showed that it really resonated with people. And this, I think, helped her really stand out from some of those other female artists that have a big song and then go away. And of course, we get more memes. This is a great one. I probably make this face when someone wants to merge in, and there's really no room for them. Everyone feels this at least once a day. And of course, her chain. It's interesting how artists decide what to be on their chains. It's almost like the meta for their brand. You think of Yeet with his Tonka for a chain. I think that's Betty Boo, that old classic figure. For Ray Shrimmer, it's their names, so you can tell them apart, Slim Jimmy and Sway Lee. It's just weird what they decide to put on a chain. It's like that one thing that encompasses their brand, which is interesting because with Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy, they eventually went separate. So the fact that they got their own name on their chain, it was prophetic, and Finesse and the Prophet should know that. They decided to make an absolute banger. I mean, at this point, Ice Spice's bass lines were slowly rising. She had a couple spikes, obviously with a Bikini Bottom, that in her mood. And this is so classic. What are most of the people looking at? Obviously, Barbie movie was big at the time. They were doing a lot of press about it. So that's kind of on everyone's mind. So, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice grabbed their surfboards and they're like, we're gonna ride this wave and we're gonna make some serious motion. So proud of them for doing that. They definitely crushed it. Music videos, very questionable, as most things are, and hey, that's their brand. Once you get that much attention, that much focus and motion, then you start to attract the attention of some A-list music celebrities. Taylor Swift. She looks like a grandma that's looking at a newborn child. Such a genuine smile. It's kind of a smile that says, you know nothing about this life or about the many challenges you will soon face. I don't know if her smile's endearing, caring, or a warning. Next slide. And of course they had a team up. Looks like Star Wars meets cowboys. They had whips fashioned into lightsabers and kind of did their thing, wearing their space suits. I don't know who, sometimes you have to question where people get these ideas from. Someone's out there making a living doing it. And on that same token, I encourage all of you to dig deep within yourself, to find what's gonna work for you. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. When Ice Spice made Munch, she made that in less than an hour, and she brags about that. If you listen to the production and just actually the mechanics of the song, I know people trash that, but for the average person, for the average artist, I don't think they'd be able to produce that in an hour, if you think about it. The actual quality of the sound, the quality of the mix, dare I say, the catchiness of the hook, new vocabulary. Most people can't do that in an hour. So think about, how can I raise my standard so that my output matches something that is worthy of blowing up, if that makes sense. And soon you too could be next to Taylor Swift on the biggest stage in the world. Or at least, make the cool lightsabers that she has. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.